can you say and spell your name for us?
Courtney Caron, Courtney-Caron.
And your role?
I'm an attorney with the Artistry. I'm a member of their Fresno team.
First question, the Artistry, when do you plan to open?
We're going to be opening on the 11th, Monday.
And so it's going to be a full open or soft open? How's that work?
It'll be our soft launch, but everything should be pretty much operating as normal on the 11th, and then the grand opening will be on the 23rd.
And how much staff do you have?
25 hired now, but we're pushing it up to 30.
Right. And tell us a little bit about the Artistry. What makes this place different than the other marijuana retailers we're going to see?
Well, first and foremost, I think as you can see, we are an art gallery that also happens to sell cannabis. So we consider ourselves a real community benefit organization, meaning that the entire premise of our organization is to help advance the arts in the cities where we operate. And in Fresno, we're featuring 3 different artists, all local art, for about the first quarter, and then we'll have rotating art exhibits in the store, all with Fresno artists. And so that's what really sets us apart, is that the focus is really on the advancement of the arts in Fresno.
Right, now what about the marijuana? You guys will probably be the first. Where do you get your marijuana from, and what's the difference between one type of marijuana you sell and the other?
Sure, so all of the product in California comes through licensed distributors, and there are dozens of different licensed distributors. So the Artistry has relationships with licensed distributors where we will order all of our product and it will just be brought here to the store. There's over 800 different products in the store of different brands and different varieties of products. All of it obviously probably comes from a sativa or an indica strain or a hybrid strain of that. So there's gummies, there's flowers, there's topicals, there's vape cartridges, there's wax. I mean, pretty much any type of product that you're looking to consume, you can find here at the Artistry.
And how is the pricing going to be from different types of products you sell here and pricing versus other retailers?
I mean, most of the distributors will set a retail price that they want you to try to stick somewhere near, coming from like a retail standard price point, but we offer a whole bunch of different discounts. And so every day of the week at the Artistry, there's a different product that's going to have some sort of a discount available, and consumers can find out about those discounts via our website or by joining our email list. And then also we have lots of different deals like buy one, get one for a penny. We have gift bags available if you reach a certain purchase price. So there really is a price point for every single consumer here, from the person looking just to spend a little bit of money and try a product to somebody who's a connoisseur.
Now, is there any state or local regulation on price points, how much you can sell for?
No, there's no state or local regulations on that.
I know, but what about taxes?
So the city taxes 4%, and that has to be paid regardless. And then there's an excise tax of 15% to the state of California. And then there's an additional 10% tax that also is covered by the state. So it ends up to be somewhere around 30% tax.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
between 20 and 30%, yeah.
Okay, so somebody who does not know much about it, give me a sample of how much it costs. What are you going to sell and how much?
Oh, I think it depends. If you're going to buy a tin of gummies, it could be about $15, $20, or
a joint.
A single joint?
Actually,
I'm
I
not
don't know how to
sure.
smoke, so.
I'm not sure what a single one. Usually buy a pack of pre-rolls. A pack of pre-rolls. I purchased some last weekend, and they were $49 for the pack. So I mean, there's so many different varieties of brands and styles of product to purchase. I don't know that I could go through all of them.
No,
but
what do you sell, by grams? How do you measure them?
Eighths, yeah.
Eighths.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say an eighth. Like, I want to get an eighth of marijuana here.
An eighth of an ounce can range from anywhere from $20 to $70.
Plus tax.
Plus tax.
Right. So a lot of the talk now is also the process you have to go through the city of Fresno. And a lot of people, I've talked to nearly all the retailers in town.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that you guys are the first to open?
Well, the Artistry has a lot of experience opening retail stores and a lot of experience working with local governments. And as a team, we decided that we really did want to be the first to open in Fresno, so we hit the ground running. We've had a really excellent experience working with the city. They've been extremely communicative and helpful in guiding us through this process. And really, I think it just comes down to having the experience opening stores. And I really don't believe there is very many other retailers who have had this much experience being first to market than the Artistry. There Their West Hollywood store was first to market. The Riverside store was first to market. The first social equity license to open in the city of Los Angeles was an artistry, and they are on track to be first to open in Oxnard as well. So it's just something that became very important to the company early on, so that we could introduce cannabis in such a special way to different communities, and now it's just become the norm.
And only 3 CUPs have been approved so far of the 20.
Yes.
And it goes, how are you able to get it done when everybody else is telling me?
We filed it the first day. I mean, as soon as they told us that we were eligible to file our CUP, we had it prepared. Lauren and I sat down and prepared it, had it ready to go, and we filed it on that very first day. And it just really was a lot of communication with the city and following up with them. If we didn't feel like we were getting a response fast enough, we just picked up the phone and called, and they immediately responded. So I think it's really just having your building plans ready to go, knowing what your vision is. And also our local owner, Cliff Tutelian, is a spectacular developer, and he also had a lot of experience building out different properties, and so that made this really go very smoothly, having his experience.
Now, is operating a retail store lucrative?
I think it can be. I mean, obviously taxes can make it very difficult, because a lot of time the retailers will lower the cost of a product in order to absorb some of that tax cost to the consumer. It takes a moment. Obviously, building a store like this is very expensive, somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million, closer to the million.
How much have you sunk in invested in here?
900,000.
Okay.
So it takes obviously a little bit of time to recoup that, but I do believe that it can be a profitable business.
Even with 20 retailers opening up within a year of each other, perhaps?
I don't actually believe 20 retailers will open within the year. I think that would be a miracle if that actually happened, and I'm just making that statement based on the other cities where we have seen very few retailers open. Like in West Hollywood, they gave 8 licenses 4 years ago, and there's only 2 retailers currently open. And this is typically what happens. I'm not sure that everybody realizes what it takes to open a retail store, and just how difficult it is getting through the city process, and then also just how to operate something under such a regulated market. So is it profitable with more stores like that? In Fresno, yes, there's a good population. So I believe as long as you have one store for 10 to 20,000 people, then probably you'll be able to do all right.
Right. Like I said, about competition. You kind of mentioned that sometimes stores will undercut others, or do you see that happening in Fresno?
Possibly. I mean, really, if you're trying to undercut as far as the price of your product, you're going to have a problem, because if you're not earning enough to pay back the cost that it took to open up your store, then you're never really turning a profit anyway. You may be having people come in and purchase product, but you really do have to try to meet the standard recommended prices on product. Otherwise, you're losing more than you're actually making, and I don't think that very many of the retailers are going to be able to do that.
And finally, didn't the state kind of cut its tax rate to help cannabis industry?
Okay, so this is an interesting question, and I'm glad you asked that. The state is cutting the cultivation tax, but what they did in turn, which was sort of crappy, and what we're trying, I'm actually on a call with a group of other lawyers who are trying to figure out how to solve this problem, but they put a scaled retail tax increase through 2026. So in 2025, they've said we can keep our current tax rates until then, but in 2026, they're supposed to be raising the state excise tax to 19% in order to make up for some of the cultivator tax. So while the cultivators are going to take a little bit of a breath, where that's going to get passed on to is the consumer. And so what we have to try to do is, before 2026, find some sort of plan to reduce those taxes for the consumer.
How do local artists take advantage
Submit?
of this opportunity?
Sure.
And get involved?
Yeah, so local artists can submit their art at info@artistry.com or art@artistry.com. And we also have we have a curator who will work with the local artist. We curated all of this art through the help of the Arts Council. We put out a call for artists, and the Arts Council published that on their social media and through an email, and we received dozens of submissions from local artists. And we're also an art hop stop. So artists who would like to see the space and decide if this is the right fit for them can stop through anytime, but also come to our art hop stop, and we'll be able to grab their information. And then as we rotate the exhibits in and out, they can submit their art for consideration.